On an international season, Silverstone sets the start of Super 7 by Kia Trophy. Welcome to the United Kingdom for the opening journey of Super 7 by Kia Trophy, an invitation of Macmillan Motorsport to lands of its majesty. In the East Midlands, Super 7 debut happens in the legendary Silverstone track, located between two small villages of Silverstone, where the name comes from, and Whittlebury. Let's find a bit more about the track. Silverstone is the home of the British motorsports and for many years belongs to Formula One history. A track with almost 6 kilometres and 18 turns. Let's see how Portuguese and English drivers handle all the technical areas. This is the 7th edition of the trophy, and the competition has 3 extra races that will not count for the championship results. And the first one runs here in the UK. And there are even more exciting news to come. This year, there are still more races outside the Iberian Peninsula. In addition to this journey, the drivers will also race in Rockingham in the United Kingdom and Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. At a technical level, there is the gearbox improvement in order to make these events even more competitive.
Basicamente a caixa apresenta
The gearbox has steel synchronizers, and the differential now allows the shift into 3rd, 4th or 5th gear. A shorter distance to the differential is more appropriate to the circuits where we race and makes the car more fun to drive.
e torna o carro também mais divertido.
The 2016 season is full of news, and the drivers cheers up and promise to strain even more to provide a biggest show.
Andar ainda mais à frente.
I always want to be as fast as I can and overtake my boundaries and skills. This year, with this new format with overseas journeys, the excitement and adrenaline rise, and the pleasure is even more Super 7 by Kia.
É cada vez mais Super 7 by Kia.
A nível da caixa de velocidade.
In what concerns the gearbox, the biggest upgrade for this year, the car is more similar to a race car. On the calendar level, it's amazing to race in circuits like Silverstone and Spa-Francorchamps. I'm used to watch those tracks on TV, and I always wanted to race in them. Rockingham's going to be a new thing for everyone. I think no one knows the track, but most of all, I think that the trophy maintains the one thing that makes it different from the others, the relaxed environment. In the race, everyone wants to win, but the camaraderie is amazing. 13 national teams lined up in this race by the invitation of Macmillan Motorsport, Super 7 races organiser in lands of its majesty and partner of CRM Motorsport, responsible for the organisation in Portugal. The national cars lined up on the track with the British drivers. In 2015, the British drivers were in Estoril in Portugal. This year, the invitation comes from Macmillan and brought the Portuguese drivers to the UK.
I think it's very good, to be honest. Everyone's jolly, no disappointed faces, no real damage at all. So, first day, very good.
Let's look into the qualifying race with a total of 30 minutes where the drivers showed why this trophy is one of the most competitive Portuguese competitions. Races discussed till the last second. Teaming with Nuno Santos, Hugo Araújo completely dominated the first qualifying, which left him on the pole position between the Portuguese drivers for the first race of the next day. However, looking to hold the second place in the first qualifying race, David Saraiva fought till the last second with Nuno Santos to ensure the pole position for the next day. Loyal to Super 7 trophy, Luis Lisboa secured the third position for the second race of the day. The driver came to Silverstone along with his brother Duarte Lisboa, who runs in a different car but with the same structure. In the first qualification, Eduardo Leitão was the one who ensured the third position. This is a return for the driver. This year, he came back with his brother Ricardo Leitão after a sabbatical year. First day full of fight tracks, but also full of a good atmosphere. This is Super 7 by Kia. The R300 class was really fought. In the first race, Paul Thacker and Danny Killian were side by side. Both show that they wanted to win the overall classification, but only one would be the strongest. Continuous fights in the track, and Paul Thacker ended up staying behind, and a difference of 3 seconds took Danny Killian to the overall victory. 2 minutes and 28 seconds was the time of his fastest lap.
Got a reasonably good start. I mean, yeah, reasonably good. Could have been better, but no, it was a little bit boring, I suppose. I was out in front for quite a long time on my own. I was just trying to keep it consistent. But Paul Thacker came back a little bit, see a few other guys fighting out behind me. So I wasn't really pushed to keep my foot down the whole time.
Between the Super Sport, the 1600, the fight for the win in the first race was discussed between Phil Jenkins and Richard Purlsgrove. There were fights along the 12 laps, with both of them looking for the biggest result. A usual presence in the Caterham, Phil Jenkins was the fastest. He was able to stand out 14 seconds to Richard Purlsgrove that ended up in second place. Jenkins's fastest lap was 2 minutes and 28 seconds.
Yeah, it was a really good race, yeah, really fair. I got a good start, I thought. Managed to keep pace with a couple of R300s, and yeah, it was difficult, but it was very fair. It's very good.
Highlight to the off-screen words of Phil Jenkins. The pilot said that he never had a clearer race as the one he had with the Portuguese pilot Hugo Araújo, that to enter in a fight of a category where he didn't race. The second-class sport race battle was harsh. This time, the fight was between Phil Jenkins, Adam White, and the Portuguese David Saraiva that entered in a fight for a class where he didn't belong. Everyone was controlling the car to fly through the track. The discussion was taken till the end of the race, always side by side. Phil Jenkins ended up not resisting to White. It was 252 tenths of a second to separate each other. Adam White guaranteed the first position between his class. His fastest lap was 2 minutes and 28 seconds.
Had a great time. Such a good time. Phil and I were beside each other for the full 30 minutes. There's neck and neck. Just put myself in the right position on the penultimate lap and took it on the last complex at Brooklyn. So couldn't believe it. It's been a year since I've been in the car, so I'm quite surprised.
Let's now look at the R300 second race. Paul O'Reilly was strong to enter in the fight for the winning. 2 minutes and 23 seconds as fastest lap as he was well on track. But wanting to revenge his second place in the first race, Paul Thacker didn't let his competitor achieve that easy the front of the race. Thacker ended up in the lead, leaving O'Reilly to second place. The win in the second race went to Paul Thacker with 22 minutes and 22 seconds as the fastest lap.
Yeah, it was a good race. It was clean, obviously, away from the start. I had no real problems. It was a shame that Danny had problems to start. It would have been a good race between me and Danny. We're quite equal, so yeah, it's a shame really that Danny pulled out.
We will now proceed to the ultimate day. 2 runs of 30 minutes each. Let's look into the first round. Danny Callan dominated the race. Portuguese dropout. Nuno Pires had a broken cable and had to stop. Now, Luis Lisboa, a frequent presence on Super 8 by Kia Trophy, showed that this year he's stronger, but he ended up with a 6th place. One of the new trophy drivers, Jose Carlos Pires, debuts here with a 5th place. Last year, he was the winner of the Abarth Trophy. Sergio Saraiva, once again racing with his cousin David, could not resist the fight for 3rd place and ended up in 4th. Before we go to the top 3 of the first race, let's look into Business Group. Also a debut this weekend on Super 7 by Kia Trophy. Gentleman Drivers Business Group Grid has only 2 competitors, Luis Calleiros and Tiago Carvalho. The last one has a registered car by Kia Portugal. Luis Calleiros had some problems during the first race. A touch on his car didn't let him come back to the track, and so he ended up on 12th position overall. Tiago Carvalho won the Business Group. This is an amazing track, and I'm glad I had the opportunity to be here. I had lots of fun, and in the end, I managed to get the win. Some cars had problems. We're in a group of 5 cars, and we're always changing positions, but in the end, I even overcame some English competitors and ended up winning. His Super 7 was not in best shape. Luis Calleiros merely walked the runway, and again the driver, Tiago Carvalho, turned out to be stronger and climbed up to 10th overall. Tiago Carvalho repeated the victory and made a double winning in this first race of the trophy. Jose João Magalhães joined now the Super 7 by Kia. He's part of the brothers Lisboa technical infrastructure. In an intense battle, suffered until the end, turned out to be stronger than Saraiva and Pires. The driver conquered the 3rd position, 22 seconds from the leader.
Olha, como estamos em Inglaterra, vai-me permitir usar uma palavra em inglês que é fun.
Since we're in England, let me use an English word, fun. I had lots of fun, and that's why I came here. I didn't know anything. I just wanted to overtake the car that was in front of me. I loved the race. I have to congratulate my competitors because they always had a good, sporty behavior, and I had a fantastic and fun race.
Esta competição, este troféu permite corridas muito divertidas.
Eduardo Leitão left the grid in the 3rd position, but at the beginning he actually wasted some time, though he was able to manage the race and escape from his opponents. In the 5th round, won the 2nd position. Leitão was unable to reach the leader of the race, who won with 8 seconds ahead.
Arrancámos bem.
We had a good start from 3rd to 2nd. Then we had a duel with João Magalhães and Sergio Saraiva. We lost many times to Hugo. In the middle of the race, we gained some distance from the other competitors. Then we focused to come close to Hugo. I made a recovery, but he was really far. I couldn't make it to the 1st place, but it was a tough race. Everything within the rule book and with loyal battles.
Lutas duras, mas leais.
Hugo Araújo was back on track. 4 years ago, the driver was close to winning the GT Academy. He entered with a devastating pace and soon took the lead to just reach the flag signal and so be crowned winner of the first race. An exciting result for the pilot who had a bad memory on this track. With this win, the driver puts away the ghosts of the past. I came here with the goal to guarantee the pole position and win the race. I did it. Yesterday I tried to see who was the fastest British driver among the 1600. In the race, I focused on him. ran and never looked back. End of the first race. It's time now to deliver the prizes to the winners. Let's remember the classification. Hugo Araujo rises to the top of the podium in first place. Eduardo Leitão in the intermediate place. José João Magalhães closes the podium. Competition, speed and big fights. This is Super 7 by Kia Trophy. It's time now to see the second race of this intense weekend in Silverstone. It's time now to change drivers. In overall, Paul Thacker was in first place, and one Portuguese driver drop out. José João Magalhães, third among the Portuguese drivers during the first race, was now forced to leave the round during his stop on the boxes. Starting in the third position on the grid, Luís Lisboa wanted to improve the result in the first race, but started with a delay, and so repeated the sixth place. Surprising was the rhythm of Ricardo Leitão. The driver was in 11th position between the Portuguese drivers, but showing a lot of talent, he was able to put a fast pace on the track and so conquered the podium. But in the end, puts his Super 7 in a 5th place. After a few years stopped, Nuno Pires started the Super 7 with a good pace. On the second race, he conquered a 4th place after recovering from a spinning. Far from the highest places, this competitive trophy has other prominent names. Hugo Negrais and Tiago Villela moved to Super 7 trophy this year. The two team up with a car, track, and in different competitions, they both had a difficult challenge in Silverstone. Tiago Villela was better than Hugo Negrais. In the first race, he got a 7th place. In the second, Negrais was the 12th. João Galvão is back with a Super 7 prepared by BMC Sports, with Bernardo Gonzalez in the team. Though the race did not go as wished by the team, still, Bernardo reached the 9th place in the first race. In the second race, with Galvão behind the wheel, the team got the 8th place. Highlights also for Duarte Lisboa, again driving a Caterham. During the qualifying, the driver started in the end of the grid. Throughout the race, he was not able to recover the time. In the first race, made an 8th place. On the second, he reached a 9th place. The third position was full of big fights. José Carlos Pires was in 5th place on the starting grid, but the driver had a strong pace and he won this intense battle. Finished the race with 17 seconds from the leader and closes the top 3. It was a competitive race, much like this trophy, although the cars are great. The setups are really important, and we learn that over time. I think that I'll learn even more. So far, it's been a good experience. Winner of the 2014 trophy, Nuno Santos has a big debut. He was able to manage all the battles in track, and even after a weakness on the beginning that made him go down to the 6th place, the driver had an impressive recovery and round after round conquered the 2nd place. It was a tough race because I had a bad start and many cars overtook me. Then I had to focus. I was a little bit lost in the 2 laps, but I tried to focus to get to the front of the race. I made up for the lost time and managed to reach the front and ended up in 2nd place. Amazing battles, lots of fun, and it was just amazing.
Foi fantástico.
David Saraiva started on the Portuguese pole position. The driver wanted to claim the victory. He was the leader of the Portuguese race and confirmed the win with almost 17 seconds from the opponents. I always expect to win because I work every week to achieve that. I came to this iconic track. It was a first for me. I adapted, I think, really well to it. I had a battle with 2 English drivers, and it was just fun. It was really fun. Lots of adrenaline. Oh, I really liked it and hope to return.
Adorei correr aqui em Silverstone, espero dia poder regressar.
By the end, it was time to deliver the prizes to the winners. David Saraiva climbed to the 1st position. Nuno Santos got the 2nd place, and João Carlos Pires completed the top 3. The Super 7 opening was a success, a guarantee from CRM Motorsport.
Foi a primeira prova não pontuável como convidado.
I was the first non-scoring round as guest of the Macmillan Motorsport. Once again, from a social and sporting point of view, with a familiar, mutually helpful environment. Also, great mood with positive moments shared among all. With an unusual enthusiasm, we put the adversities in the past. I'm really happy.
Com entusiasmo que não é normal ver. Estou muito contente.
Super 7 by Kia trophy will come back to the United Kingdom, to Rockingham track for the 2nd round of the season. The starting list will be full of competition.